Yes. Okay, Nancy, you may start.
Hello everyone, good evening. So today you can see the title of the workshop, Tapping into Your Creative Self. So here is a beautiful quote, being creative is not a hobby, it's a way of life. So absolutely this means being creative isn't just an activity you pick up and put down like a hobby. It's a holistic approach to life itself. When creativity becomes a way of living, it shapes how you think, how you solve problems and interact with the world around you. It means seeing possibilities where others might see limitations, embracing change with an open mind and finding inspirations in the ordinary. Yeah, so me, Nancy, and my friend Vida is presenting this workshop.
Hello.
Next, exploring the meaning of creativity beyond traditional art forms. So when we ask people what is creativity, they might say it is something what we paint, what we draw, what art, music, and all. So creativity is beyond it. Like when we solve problem, this is also a creativity. When we get a challenge, when we engage in that and how we solve that, it is also something creativeness. It's a part of creativity. So now I will be introducing with the creativity. Next. Yeah, tapping into a creative self involves connecting with your inner sense of imagination, curiosity, and intuition to generate new ideas and express yourself in innovative ways. So when I talk about cooking or preparing meal in the kitchen, so creativity shows up in kitchen when we combine, some ingredients and when we cook in new ways. It improvises with what we have or create healthier alternatives we have. So you don't need to follow the recipes there precisely when you are confident in your ability to think creatively about ingredients and techniques. And when we say about time management, so being creative with the time management allows you to juggle up multiple tasks by finding efficient, non traditional ways to organize your day. So, for example, batching similar tasks together or creating morning routine schedule that enhances your productivity are creative strategies for making most of the limited time. Next. Now we will talk about some debunking common myths about creativity. So, first is only some people are creative. This myth suggests that creativity is reserved for artists, musicians, or genius, but in reality, creativity is not a rare gift, it's a universal human trait. So, truth behind it is that everyone has the capacity to be creative. Creativity isn't about painting a masterpiece or writing a novel, it's about thinking differently. So, for example, all know who is Thomas Alva Edison. So he was not considered a creative genius in the traditional sense. He simply tried thousands of ways to make a light bulb work. So his creativity was not about talent, but persistence and experimenting with solution until one clicked. Next is creativity is innate and can't be learned. So the truth behind this is that creativity is like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets. Just as you can train your body through physical exercises, you can nurture your creative abilities through practice and exposure to new ideas. In fact, creativity thrives on diversity of experiences, like the new experiences, the exposure you get, the curiosity, the risk taking, all of which we can be cultivated. Next is creativity means being artistic. So, this myth narrows the definition of creativity to artistic pursuits such as painting, writing, playing music. So, creativity shows up in countless areas of life, from scientific discovery to business innovation and even personal growth. It's about problem solving, making connections between ideas, and thinking in non linear ways. You don't need paintbrush or piano to be creative. Creativity is about how you think, not what you create. Like, for example, Marie Curie. She was a famous physicist. She applied creative thinking in her scientific research, which led to the discovery of radioactivity. Her creativity was not about art. It was about finding a new way to understand the natural world. Next is creativity comes from inspiration alone. Some people believe that creativity only strikes when you are inspired. So, leading to the myth that you have to wait for the magical moment before you can create something meaningful. So, truth behind this is that while inspiration can kickstart creative ideas, discipline, and consistency are what sustain creativity. Many people, many great creators don't wait for inspiration. They create through routine, deliberate effort. Creativity often emerges through the process itself, when we push through blocks and keep working, even when inspiration doesn't seem to come. Yeah, next. Who is creative? So there are some personality trait of creative person. The first is curiosity. When we talk about curiosity, the creative people tend to have an insatiable curiosity about the world around them. So they ask questions, they explore new topics, and are driven by desire to understand how things work or why they are the way they are. So this curiosity pushes them to seek out new experiences and learn continuously, which fuels their creativity. Next is open mindedness. So, openness to experiences is one of the significant traits associated with creativity. Creative individuals are willing to consider new ideas, perspectives, experiences without immediate judgment. They are open to experimentation, exploration, and unconventional approaches, which allows them to think outside the box and come up with innovative ideas. Next is imagination. So, an active imagination is often at the core of creativity. Creative people can visualize possibilities, invent scenarios, or create entirely new concepts in their mind. This is the power of imagination. So, this imaginative thinking allows them to envision potential outcomes or design original work of art, music, writing, or the ideas that go beyond the ordinary. Next is risk taking. So, creative individuals are often comfortable with taking risk, whether it's trying something new, sharing unconventional ideas, or the challenges they face in unexpected manner in their life. So, they recognize that creativity involves uncertainty, and they are willing to step out of the comfort zone to explore new possibilities. This trait helps them to push boundaries and innovate uh, in ways that others might not. Next is divergent thinking. So, divergent thinking or the ability to generate multiple solutions or ideas from a single problem or question is a hallmark of creativity. Creative individuals excel at seeing many possible answers, connections, or approaches rather than focusing on a single correct solution. This thinking style allows for innovation and novel problem solving. Next is passion. So creativity often requires sustained effort, and passion provides a drive to see project through. Creative people are deeply passionate about their work or interest. This passion fuels their commitment to develop their ideas and keeps them motivated through and the high and lows of the creative process. Next is non-conformity. So, creative individuals often resist societal norms and expectations. They are willing to go against the grain and think different, even if it means standing out or being misunderstood. Next. Yes, so this is a self exploration activity. This is a figure Torrance test of creativity. You can see some figures. You can take pencil, paper, pen, anything, and you can draw figures related, like there are one to nine figures. You can imagine what you can draw from this. I will give you 3 4 minutes to draw something. You can draw multiple things from one figure. There is no limitation for that. I hope you are able to make some figures out of them. So this figure test measures the creativity through visual tasks and does not require any language skill. So making it more accessible to people of different linguistic abilities and age group. This is the advantage of this test. It also emphasizes the use of shapes, lines, and figures. Other than that, there is also a similar test, that is verbal tolerance test of creativity. So in that, a word or a sentence is provided, and you have to think, you have to visualize the series of words or sentences related to that. Like in schools we are given the task of storytelling or story writing. Like initial sentence is provided to us and they have to frame a story out of it. That is a kind of verbal tolerance test of creativity. You can try that also. Yeah, so now
Hello. Actually, her internet seems to have switched off. She's just connecting through her phone's internet. Just wait for a minute.
Sorry for the interruption. I was connecting with my phone internet. Okay, now we will talk about the five dimensions. Yeah. So now Torrance test of creativity is scored across five dimensions. We will discuss about the five dimensions. So the first is fluency. So the number of ideas or responses a person can produce, it indicates how prolific their idea is generated is. Next is flexibility. So the variety of different categories or types of responses are generated. This assesses whether a person can think from multiple perspectives or change their approach. Next is originality. The uniqueness, this means the uniqueness of the responses or how they are unusual, how rare they are. These ideas receive higher originality scores. Next is elaboration. So this means the amount of detailed provided, how much detailed uh, the uh, the the amount of detail added to the ideas or drawings. This measures how thoroughly a person can develop an idea. Next is resistance to premature closure. This means the ability to keep an open mind and explore multiple options before settling on a single idea or solution. Now we will discuss about the application of Torrance test. The first is education. So widely used in schools, this test is widely used in schools to identify students with high creative potential for gifted programs. It helps the educators to understand students' creative abilities beyond the standard academic metrics. Next is corporate and professional setting. So this is also used in hiring and team building environments to assess an employee's ability to think creatively, to solve problems, and to generate innovative solutions or ideas. Next, it is used in psychological researches to study the creativity across the different age groups, cultures, and also in occupations. Next is therapeutic context. So therapists also use the elements of this test to assess and foster the creative expressions, especially in children or individuals struggling with self uh, expression who are not able to express themselves. Mostly this test is used for them also. Next. Yeah. This is an activity. So now you have to think about a problem, about a recent problem you have. Just take 1 minute and just think a recent problem you had, then I will proceed. Okay, like for example, I have a problem, like I'm giving example. I feel very overwhelmed by the number of tasks I have to do at work, and I never seem to have enough time to complete them all. So this is my problem. Now I have to reframe it as an opportunity. So how I will reframe that? Now I will tell this like This is an opportunity for me to learn how to prioritize a better and delegate task. I can use this experience to improve my time management skills. This is the this is how I reframe my problem. This is also part of creativeness. Also, I can reframe my problem as a game. Like, what if I turn my to-do list into a game? Like, where each task has to point a value. I could win my day by reaching a certain number of points, making work feel less overwhelming and more rewarding. This is how I reframe my problem as a game by giving myself points. Next. Yeah, Vidha.
Yes. So this is a worksheet, or you can say like an assessment, or generally questions to assess how creative you are. And all of these questions are yes or no type, which means there are two answers that you can give yourself, either a yes or a no for each of these questions. You can go ahead and read, and maybe if you want, write it on a paper so that you can assess. I will tell you the scoring after. You can take a few minutes and just go through the questions and think of whether it matches you or not. I'll give you another minute, then let me know if you're done so we'll move to the scoring. I hope you are done. We'll move on to the scoring. Okay. So basically, the scoring goes like this. You have to score 1 point for every yes answers to questions mentioned on the screen. That is first 1, 2, 3, 6, 8, 9, 25, and 26. These are the questions that if you said a yes to, you will give yourself 1 score to each of them. And to the questions mentioned on the second line, if you have said a no to these questions 4, 5, 7, and 8, 10 to 24, you will give yourself another 1 point of score to each of these questions if you said a no. And so the overall score goes like this. If you have high levels of creativity, your score should be above 20. If you have above average level of creativity, you will get a score of 15 to 19. If you have an average range of creativity, you will be getting a score of around 11 to 14. And below average would be 7 to 10, and less than 7 would be low creativity levels. So the overall score is less important than the scores for each of these questions. And using some of the approaches and tools of the creativity, basically you can overcome these weaknesses. Uh, it's not like if you feel like you are now below average, low in creativity, you cannot change that. There is different ways of cultivating creativity, and we will also be talking about how you can inculcate creativity within you in your daily lives. So we'll move on to the next. There are therapies based on creativity that we use. Um, and these are art-based therapy. So art-based therapy, also these therapies are not really mutually exclusive. These are, they all include some parts of each other and all have general principles or some few bases which do kind of um are common to all of them. So in arts-based therapy, it is a transformative process where individuals gain a clearer understanding of themselves by delving into challenging thoughts and emotions through the use of art materials. So, what are these materials that we use in art therapy? They include painting, drawing, sculpting, weaving, collage, and scribbling. They can also include musical instruments. They can include music in general and lots of other things. And similarly, in expressive art therapy, we include all of the performance arts, so painting, drawing, writing, drama, dance, play therapy, music, all of these can be included. Rhythm is an important part of art therapies. Um, next, there is play therapy. Next, there's play therapy, which involves therapy for kids, especially. They include sensory motor activities that helps with developing their sensory motor cognitions. And there are also things like various play tools and ways to make them feel less overwhelmed with all the sensory activities, and these are especially used for children with autism, ADHD, and neurodevelopmental disorders because they seem to have issues surrounding these sensory motor things. And they use various tools for them to also overcome their lack of social interaction and sociability. So they try and incorporate playing together with each other, especially for kids with autism. That can be an issue. Um, and similarly, dance movement therapy, and this is something that I have also for a brief moment learned and through my college. Um, it is a way of expressing oneself through dance and movement, but also includes rhythm, role plays, and stuff like that. It increases the self-esteem of people. It can help with expression of emotions. It helps with cognition, like processing of emotions. So whenever you feel overwhelmed, you can express yourself through dance and movement rather than through words. So it also does not have an age bar. None of these therapies actually do. They can be used for all ages. Um, and it helps with even processing trauma and, reflecting on themselves, on their thoughts, and on their experiences and all of that. Okay, so I wanted you all to be able to learn one part of dance therapy, dance movement therapy, and we'll do an activity. Now, if you all are able to, I want you to, some of you all at least, to switch on the videos so we can do an activity. It basically involves just movement of hands, so it's not going to be very overwhelming for most of you all. You can just do sit and do it. Anyone? No? All right. So I'll just show some of these things we incorporate in dance movement therapy. So this basically goes like, you clap, chest, snap, chest, clap, snap, chest, clap, chest, snap. So out of this, you make a rhythm. You repeat these movements again and again. Chest, chest, snap, clap, chest, snap, chest, clap. And you add a song to it. And you do this in group settings. So when people do it together, it really makes them feel connected to each other. It incorporates and evokes the feeling of positivity and helps you feel more in touch with the present, and which is very relaxing for people. And it's not about what music you put in or how good you are at singing or any of that. It really just helps you express yourselves, feel more connected to people, and have those positive emotions evoked in you. And this is also something that we have, as a matter of fact, learned through civilization. We use this in folk music, folk dances, all of that incorporate the same rhythm patterns and community mindedness that helps evoke feelings of positivity and happiness and satisfaction and connectedness. So what research says is that, you know, as I have already said, therapies of creativity help in a lot of different ways. It helps with feeling less restricted in your own self, especially from what I've understood as a part of dance movement therapy, is that it helps you feel more in charge of your own body. So you have much more self-esteem that's built up. There is confidence, there is assertiveness that you will learn through it. You how to say no, how to, be able to communicate. So they incorporate both speaking and movement, and that way able to express yourself better. And it works on individuals regardless of their age. So there is no age, education, disability, any bar to the expression of creativity. Maybe some dance movement therapies can be a little restricted for some people, who maybe can't, let's say, dance, but not all of them. The activities involve um, you know, enough different kinds that you don't really have to. feel like you can't be included or you can't be a part of it. And so, regardless of your disability, even or any of the restrictions that you may have, all of these therapies include at least some forms that can help you feel more in touch with the present. Even aggression, for that matter, is something that you can manage through these creative therapies. There is drama therapy also, which helps with the expressiveness, and all of these are really, really nice if you want to try them ever. We also incorporate some of these in our, you know, the times when we go to old age homes and provide, some activities. We do mandala art, which is also very relaxing. Um, Next thing is fear. Fear is one big killer for creativity. So if you're always afraid, or if you're often afraid of trying to do something because you might do a mistake and it might not turn out as you thought of, thought out, you are not going to be able to do it in the first place. So what we allow for, or what we should allow for, is making mistakes and not just learning from them, but also realizing that those mistakes can sometimes look really great on paper, right? They might not turn out as well as we thought, but it might turn out to be a different piece of art. And creativity is important in all professions. So there is not one profession in this world that has not been, not that hasn't incorporated creativity, because without that, there could have been no innovation. There could have been no, progressive civilization, even from the start of the civilization, even for that matter, making of tools, all of that. We've understood that by, you know, seeing new ways of doing things or using the same tools that Mother Earth has provided, maybe. And that is how we incorporate creativity in literally everything in our lives from the start of the civilization. And there are, of course, many, many cognitive benefits of creativity. And this is not an exhaustive list. This is like a small list of things that can be helped through creativity. So feelings of overwhelming, anxiousness, and stress is definitely reduced with creativity. There is positive feelings that increases. You have a sense of achievement for the small things that you do, and these small happinesses what we don't get enough, because often we are busy with our work, and we might be so overwhelmed by it and so busy with it, and we don't find that, like, after one work is completed you have another thing to do. And there is a lack of sense of achievement, and creativity, or any pursuing any creative art forms, or even just doing things in a different way, can help you feel that you've achieved something, and it will give you small amounts of happiness each day, which is very helpful. And there is that it improves your brain activity, because you're building new neural networks in your brain when you are doing anything creative. So it helps you improve your cognition, and it also prevents from diseases or disorders in the disorders related to your brain, like Alzheimer's, dementia, and all of that are affected, and they are prevented because you use creativity a lot. And it is a very effective way of actually helping you through decrease your risks to it. And there is your self-expression that can get better. You will be more assertive. Your self-esteem improves, as I said, with some of these therapies that you incorporate. And even if you do these things by themselves, if you inculcate creativity in your own self, that also is very helpful. There's anger management. So, the problem with anger is that it might, for some people, be not expressed in smaller things, but then there is a burst of anger. And that can be helped by the better self-expression throughout your, better ways of expressing yourself as well. So moderating these anger management is something that creativity and, therapies related to creativity also help with. It brings people together, as I already said, and said, and then it reduces trauma, or it actually helps you process trauma, which is very helpful. Now, Nancy will tell us why is creativity important.
So now we will discuss about the importance of creativity. So the first is problem solving. So creativity is essential for problem solving because it has a unique ways to solve problem. It enables people to think beyond the conventional solutions, offering new approaches to challenge in both personal and professional settings. Next is innovation and progress. So, creativity is the foundation of innovation, driving advancement in technology, science, and arts. It leads to the development of new product, ideas, and methods that push society forward, improving the quality of life and also expand the human potential. Next is personal growth and fulfillment. So, engaging in creative activities, when we engage in different creative activities, that allows us to express, to explore the inner thoughts of ourselves and develop our own potential. So creativity offers a sense of fulfillment as it taps into our passion, curiosities, and talents that fosters the our personal growth. Next is emotional and mental health. So by engaging in the creative activities, this could be therapeutic to us, like helping to reduce stress, anxiety, and it provides a healthy outlet for emotions that offers to way to process complex feelings. So studies shows that creative expression is linked to improve mental health and cognitive functions.
Before I talk about ways to inculcate creativity, I realized I missed the video before for dance movement therapy, where I'll show you how it really goes. This is one of the activities that we were doing in our university. So as you can see, they are using the form of basically a dupatta to help them, um, feel less restricted. So what is the meaning behind it is that with the movement of the dupatta, you can actually move your body and also gain the movement that dupatta has and feel lighter in your body. So it is one way of incorporating the movement of objects that you're using into your own body and feeling less restricted and more in charge of your body and yourself. That is how dance movement therapy works. And this is one of the many activities that we do in dance movement therapy. So these are the ways to inculcate or cultivate creativity. First of all, you have to embrace your curiosity. If you don't think of ways that there things could be different, or if you don't aren't even trying, then maybe you might not, start being creative. So first of all, the like first step of being creative needs for you to have curiosity about things. So how does this work? How can I do this thing differently? Or what does this mean? Right. And you seek inspiration from things around you. Maybe it's, that you probably going out for a walk, go into the market, see things around, see new vegetables or fruits, and you're like, okay, what is this about? And like, let me see how I can add that into my cooking and use that to cook some different dish. And or you could be looking at podcasts, you could be looking at, let's say, YouTube videos, even there are TED Talks, there are so many things that can give you inspiration. There are, of course, people on social media as well that give you help you find creative ways of doing it. But also, if you yourself find some innovative ways of doing things, or solving some problems, you will feel such a sense of achievement, like, oh wow, I can also be creative and I can also create something new. So there's setting aside some time or date or place. This is very important, despite us also saying that in routine you can also find creativity to really do your creative work, or to just set time aside will help you actually take it further. And also it will give you that space to really just act upon your own mind, and reflect on things that you can do. So you might need, and you don't really need a lot of things. You can just use a pen and paper. You can look at things around you and see what time, maybe on a weekend you can find some time for doing something creative or trying new things. Next is exploring the possibilities. So you see what all things is possible. So you try new alternatives as well, and see what can be done differently, or maybe in a more efficient way, or what more can I do? What more can I learn? These things will help you inculcate creativity. Um, Even in the most boring and mundane tasks, people have found such possibilities to feel so nice, right? So all of these videos we see of mukbang and I don't know what else, but hearing those sounds also helps us with um, feeling much less overwhelmed, or it helps us feel relaxed. So all of those things have come out of creativity, and they also help people earn because they're using that as a YouTube video, right? So, and lastly, you have to let it go, like Elsa or in Frozen. You cannot, if you fear yourself uh, to make any mistakes, or to that you will make mistakes and that it would not turn out how you had planned initially, then you might not just try and do anything at all, which will definitely not be creative, right? So you have to learn to let the creativity flow, let it do its own thing, and just try these new things, whether or not it will turn out the way you think is not important. But you trying and you doing that process is what is more important, and what will help you feel the sense of achievement by the time you're actually done with it. And this is a creativity bingo. You can use this to perhaps try and incorporate these new creative things, or learn new skills, like your, let's say, gardening, knitting, or origami. You can create a story using objects from your room. You can read something new. You can write something new. You can make a sock puppet and put on a show for yourself, or record a video for your kids, or for your friends even. You can write a letter to your future self. You can build a sculpture out of twigs. There are just endless possibilities, and this creativity bingo is again um, not an exhaustive list. You can make one of your own. You can find things on the internet because it's full of this. Trust me, if you just type it, creativity bingo, and that's what I did. I found a plethora of things that you can try and do, and you can, check off your list, whatever it is, and you can feel much more creative, and you can feel that sense of satisfaction and achievement from small things. So we have come to the end, and to conclude, we what we've learned from this workshop is that creativity is not about how artistic you are and is it about then. It's about how you see new possibilities and new ways of doing things, or you try new things or learn new skills. That is it. Creativity is not out of nowhere. It's from things that are around you, and maybe re-exploration of things that are around you and reflecting on it. Then there is creative mindset can be inculcated. There is not a boundary as to whether you can learn new things or not. It's the only thing that is possibly restricting you is yourself. People paint from their legs, when they have visibility, right? And they do it from their mouths, and they create like such great artwork as well. So creative mindsets can also be inculcated, and anyone can come up with new things. Personality traits of creative people, we saw how curiosity, open-mindedness, and risk-taking is something that is uh, visible in creative people. And what kind of therapies you can use creativity, uses creativity, we've learned. So there's play therapy, there's art therapy, there's dance therapy, there's lots of expressive arts therapy. All of these therapies incorporate and use creativity for a lot of things. I must have forgot, but substance use disorders is also something, a place where creativity can be used to express themselves better, and also like actually anything can help from creativity. And we've also learned ways you can incorporate creativity and be more creative. So that's it for the workshop. If you have any questions, you can put them in. Thank you. Any questions? Any feedback? Yes, please. Anyone? You can put them out of chat if you're feeling a little uncomfortable. I can see some chats. Oh, well, we're almost come to the end. If you have any questions, we can answer that, or we can end the meeting as you wish. All right, I guess that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you so much for listening to this workshop, although it got delayed. Thank you. Bye bye.